This is Rye with RyeTheNewsGuy.com, and this is an exclusive first look interview with Elise Marra, creator of Frankie the Musical, and Ashley Kate Adams of AKA Studio Productions and producer of Frankie the Musical. Today I'll be talking with both ladies about the new concept studio recording album, Frankie the Musical. Enjoy! I'm here with Elise Marra, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Elise Marra, who is the creator of the new musical, Frankie the Musical, a new original musical. And we have Ashley Kate Adams as well, who's head of AKA Studio Productions, is the producer on this project. Very exciting. So where did the idea come from for Frankie the Musical? I understand it's based on true events.
Yeah, it's based on a girl I met in high school. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and just through people I started kind of learning about her. And I was very intrigued by everything, and I decided more people needed to hear the story. And the best way to do that would be a musical. So, Frankie the Musical.
Wow, that's super inspiring. So did you work with her when you, when you thought about doing this, or did you just sort of do this on your own? Or?
Yeah, I sent her a text in the Detroit airport, and I was just like, it was really rambly, and I was just like, can I write a musical about your life? I don't know if that's weird. I'm sorry if this comes off weird. And she was like, of course, let's just meet up. So we met at a Panera for like 45 minutes, an hour, and talked about her life. Yeah. And from the notes I took at that meeting, I got Frankie the Musical. So
that is absolutely incredible. And what a great, idea, a great person to use. That had to be so hard to create this. What was the hardest part about creating Frankie the Musical? Where do you begin? How do you, I'm sure you had all these ideas in your head, but what's the hardest part?
The hardest part on this show was probably revisions. The first draft came out pretty easily, and then when we brought our director Joe Barros onto the project, I had a lot of long talks with him about making sure everything was moving story. And that was kind of the first time someone had ever brought that up to me. So that was a lot to wrap my head around, and making the first set of revisions was a lot. So
I bet, I can only imagine. Wow. Good for you. So what does, there's not really much out there yet about this musical, which is super exciting. So excuse me if some of these questions are too much. I don't want to reveal too much. So again, if it's revealing too much, please just let me know. But what does Frankie learn about herself as she deals with, while she deals with having a mother that's mentally checked out? What does she learn about herself as a person, in this show, as a character?
I think one of the main things she realizes is, because for most of the show, she holds a matriarchal role in her family, and she sort of lets it consume her life. But by the end of the show, she kind of realizes that there's a way that you can support other people while also not letting it be to the detriment of yourself, and also being able to support yourself while doing that. So,
wow, that's really, really important, and such a good motto. Do you have a favorite song from this show, or a favorite scene, or something in the show that sticks out to you particularly that you really like?
Yeah. Well, my favorite song in the show changes constantly, but one that I always kind of find myself going back to is the opener to Act 2. It's a duet between the mother and father, and who are sung by Jason Sweet Tooth Williams and Autumn Hurlburt on the album. And the mother's kind of, at the end of Act 1, she kind of states that she wants to rejoin the family because she's been checked out for a while. And at the top of the act, Frankie's in the hospital, and the mom comes storming in, and because no one told her, and because they were trying to protect her, and she kind of has this moment of, I can't be a part of this family again if you guys don't trust me and tell me things. And her and her husband kind of sing this almost like teen angsty rock duet almost. But I really like that one. And that's on the album. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. So it's funny you mentioned Frankie and in the hospital with that the protagonist, which is Frankie, she faces an unexplained illness in her senior year of high school. How does this shape Frankie's journey throughout the musical, and what does she learn about herself because of this mysterious illness?
Yeah, I think it's that like portion of the show where she's bedridden and she can't exactly take care of her younger sisters as she was used to, and she's forced to give up some control. And it's in that time where she realizes that, you know, she has to be there for herself too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's important. You know, on that, it's sort of ironic in a way, current situation going on, that, you know, we're dealing with this pandemic and sort of a mysterious illness. With that being, yeah, very, the timing of this is unique because of the current situation we're in. What can we learn from this illness currently, COVID-19, that helped Frankie in her journey? What can we take away from this that really helped Frankie with her illness?
I think one thing, I guess in the way of COVID and quarantine, there's not one way to do it right, you know?
Of course.
There's not, like, everyone hasn't just agreed, you know, we're all gonna be super productive during this time, or we're all gonna take this time for self-care. And I think Frankie sort of realizes that too. She's like, there's not one right way to look at a certain situation. So,
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. So I believe it's May 29th is the concept, the album comes out, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. At midnight on May 29th.
Cannot wait. Can you take me through the process of finding the right people for the concept album? I mean, you've had an exciting year. I know you did the reading earlier. And was it this year or was it the end of last year? 2019?
It was August 2019.
Okay, 2019. So you did the reading and then you have the album coming out. Can you take me through the process of, you know, how you found the right people for this album? I mean, it's a great group of Broadway people.
I have to give a lot of that to our great casting directors at Eisenberg
right.
and Bean Casting. They kind of, I mean, for the reading, they presented a lot of ideas for casting, and then we took some people from the reading. Ashley Kate knew Jason, and Joe Barrows knew Allie Trim. So it was a lot of people, but I'd have to say Eisenberg and Bean Casting really is just at the stronghold of it all.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there a song in Frankie the Musical that is sort of an anthem for all of us right now that would really resonate for everyone? Is there a specific song on the album that, you know, really everyone this is the anthem that everyone needs to hear and listen to, that can really, I mean, the whole album is going to be fantastic, of course, but is there one song in particular that we can really sort of be an anthem for us right now?
Yeah, the second song on the album is kind of it's like the waving through the window, I guess, of the show, and it's called Take a Deep Breath. It's Frankie's I Want song, and she sings in it. Some of the lyrics are, you know, I'm stuck in this cage I call home, which I think we can all relate to at this point. And yeah, she just kind of sings about taking her life back in that number, and I think that song is a big driving force in the show. So
wow, that just sounds, gives me goosebumps to even think about that.
And Take a Deep Breath is our single. So that's the single within the album. So when there's a first listen, that will be the track that is shared with everyone publicly. That is so
great. On that, what is sort of the, you know, because this is really going to be the first time that people are hearing the music. It's so exciting on this, you know, on the album and on the release. What can we expect to hear on this album? What kind of music is it? Is it new? Is it your typical Broadway musical? Like, is it pop? Is it, you know, rock? What kind of style is music can we hear?
Yeah, I just say your contemporary American musical theater musical.
Great.
Yeah.
I love it. That it sounds. I am just so excited to take a listen to this. It's switching gears, and we have to talk about you. Oh my goodness, you are a child prodigy. You are.
Thanks.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You've published 2 novels, completed your first musical by the age of 13. Since then, you've written 4 original musicals and 4 original plays.
The number has gone up. The number has gone up by this point. So she can reveal the next number. I'll let you know.
Oh my God. Wow. My question is, what has that experience been like, and what have you learned about yourself through all of this? I mean, did you one day when you were just, when you were young, did you just wake up and say, this is what I want to do? I have a passion for writing, for creating, and wanted to do this? Or, I mean, how does that feel? Because you're 16 now, correct? Right? 16, 17?
Yeah.
I mean,
16.
Geez Louise.
I wish it was like that. I wish I knew I wanted to do this. My mom put me in piano lessons when I was 6, I think, maybe.
Nice.
And if she hadn't done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But no, I was that kid at like the kindergarten recitals where they're like, stand in front of your parents, your moms for Mother's Day and read them this poem, and we all the sheet of paper, and I was the kid in the corner having a breakdown because I was like, I can't do it. But I don't know. It's just, I had written the 2 novels because I was bored in school a lot, so I would write those in class.
Yeah.
And then I visited Alcatraz, and I started, we're going on one of those like guided headphone tours, and I started thinking, I'm like, it'd be kind of cool to write a book set in Alcatraz. And then they said that they gave all the prisoners instruments during the day, and they had bands, and Al Capone was a part of a band when he was in prison. And I thought, I guess it's a musical. I guess I don't really have a choice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. You are, there clearly
something else.
Yeah. I mean, and clearly there is no stopping you. You are just, you would just keep breaking the glass wall over and over again. Obviously right now, while Frankie is at the forefront and, is the main focus, you're 16, 17. What are your plans for as you get into adulthood? You'll be in college in a few years. Do you want to be more in the behind the scenes on the creative end? Are you interested in performing? Do you see yourself sort of maintaining and being a writer, creator, maybe producer, or what sort of do you have in mind for yourself as, in the next few years?
I mean, I like to do it all. I perform as much as I can. I've performed in a few of my own shows.
Wow.
And I think I don't see why limit myself to like being one thing. And I mean, there's people out there doing it all. I mean, so why not?
No, that's so important. You shouldn't limit yourself at all. That is great. I'm happy to hear that. That is super important. Lastly, I know, in present times, we don't know what the future is going to hold, but if, as of right now, what is next for the show? We have the concept album coming up. If you could, in the next few months, what sort of, or even in the next sort of year, what do you find to be next for Frankie, aside from this exciting concept album?
So there's been a lot of excitement around the show, and what we're just so thrilled about right now is that the album was the correct choice for our next step. And what we're excited to continue the journey with is the fact that Frankie the musical and how it reaches the world and the public is going to be very non-conventional. So our next step was sharing this massive album release in conjunction with AK Studio Productions, Mitchell Walker, and Broadway Records. But the next step might not be as traditional as you think as far as musical theater is concerned. So privately right now, we're already having many exciting discussions as to what that next step of development might be. And it might be changing form in medium. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, with Ashley Kate at the helm, there's all the possibilities.
Yeah.
You are just a creative force, and anything that comes next, I know it will be new, exciting, fresh, and with you at the helm, anything's possible.
You're very sweet, and Elise is my team partner on this.
Yes.
Anything is possible. So
it is, of course. Well, I think that's about it. Thank you for chatting with me. Is there anything you would like to add, Elise, that I missed? Is there anything you would like to touch on, or Ashley, anything that I maybe didn't touch on that you would like to say, or?
Yeah, I could just quickly run through everybody attached to the album. That could be maybe kind of fun.
Sure.
Yeah, so the album's produced by us at AKA Studio Productions with Mitchell Walker, and we just partnered with Broadway Records with Van Dean over there, and Dina Zucker. She's incredible. Robbie Rizal has been on our team, and they've been unbelievable. Sophia on social media. We recorded the album at Second Story Sound in downtown New York, and our cast has an incredible amount of people on it in it. Caitlin Kennanen, as you said earlier, but Jason Sweet Williams, Autumn Hurlbert, Jason Gote, Ali Trim, Delphi Borich. It's such an incredible cast returning for this cast concept album. We have incredible musicians attached as well. Benjamin Weiss. We have Jacqueline Acevedo. I never say her last name right. She's incredible. She's a Grammy Award winner. She just starred in David Byrne's American Utopia on Broadway. And it's just an incredible group of people. So we truly hope that you download the album on May 29th. It's not this Friday, but the next.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait. I will certainly be downloading it. I hope everyone else does too. This is very exciting. And I think people are truly going to be blown away. And I don't think they're ready for this in the best way possible. It's going to be a great, don't underestimate Frankie the musical.
The future is Frankie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The future is Frankie. That is great. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. So appreciate it. And, I hope you guys are staying well and safe. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Ryan.